Hey, what's up everybody, Retro Gaming Guy here. Today in this video, we're going to dive into a more budget-friendly mini PC. Lately, I've been diving into a lot of the more high-end options, which are certainly a lot of fun, but there's nothing wrong with something that's not going to completely shatter your budget. And we've got that right here. This right here is the YQHuPo Mini PC, and hopefully I'm not butchering the name of that. I'm not certain on the actual pronunciation, but it's spelled YQHuPo, so I'm going to call that the YQHuPo Mini PC. Again, probably getting it wrong. 8GB RAM right here. We have a 256GB SSD installed within, running Windows 11, and this uses the Intel Celeron 5105 processor, so we should get speeds of up to about 2.9 gigahertz on this. So I don't expect us to be able to dive into our super high-end and really demanding emulators like PS3 or maybe even Xbox or Gamecube. I'm not entirely sure where we're going to line up here in terms of performance. Maybe we'll get surprised, but we'll first unbox this. We'll take a look at the design and layout, see what it offers us in terms of ports, and then we'll fire it up, dive into some retro video game emulation to test out its capabilities and performance. Let's dive into it. All right, guys, here we have our mini PC. Let's go ahead and unbox this. Now, judging by the size of the box, this is super compact. This looks really small right here. This may, in fact, be one of the smallest options I've seen. Not much to it. So before we unbox that, let's see what else is included in here. First, we have a user manual, I assume. Doesn't say that. Is anything here in English? Let's see. Yes, the backside is in English. Okay, perfect. It says user manual JV02. So I'm not seeing anything that says JV02 on here. Not sure what the deal is with that, but specifications are listed on the back, and I gave you guys kind of the specifications here, in the intro. But for graphics, we have the Intel UHD graphics. So I don't know if I mentioned that early on. It says that there's a large fan for cooling, and it lists the ports. So inside here, it does tell us how we can set this up. It does show us each of the ports as well. So it is pretty thorough there. I will give them credit there where credit is due. Now, at the bottom, we have what I assume is our cables in this little compartment here. Let's see what they provide us with. Oh, nice. They gave us a mounting bracket. Always good for a mounting bracket, especially since mini PCs are very easy to mount. I'm somebody that likes to mod arcade cabinets, and I love using mini PCs for that. So right here we have ourselves a power supply cable, uses a Type-C connection here to actually power this, and then we have a regular HDMI cable right here. So awesome. I have my own HDMI cable that I'll likely use for right now, but let's dive in and see the actual mini PC here. All right, guys, here we have the mini PC itself. Now this, again, super compact. We're talking about probably, let's see, 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Very small, totally square. You can reach right over the top of this to access the ports on the back side or the ports on either side. Front here has the power button. That's all that you're going to find in front. Obviously, we have the brand name up here on the top. Great action on the power button as well. You can definitely hear it. You know when you engage it. Some of them are so well padded that you can't even hear the click. So you don't know if you've actually hit it. And if it doesn't have an LED light, this one does. It is pretty small, but if you don't have a light, not all of them do, sometimes you don't realize that you've engaged that or not. Now, if we turn this to the right, you're going to see we have 3 USB 3 ports right there. I love the fact that they're USB 3, not regular USB. I think this is the direction that mini PCs are going. So it's good to see that they've incorporated USB 3s on here. Flip it around to the back side. Here we have 2 Ethernet connections, ventilation as well. Right here we have a Type-C power supply port. So that's where our power supply cable, which is right here, is going to plug in. And then we have our headphone jack located on the back side. Now, usually I'd be a little bit critical of this just because if you have your headphone jack on the back side, it's just kind of an inconvenience to plug in or unplug or to, just access in general. You have to reach around your PC. It's another cable that's wrapping around because you're likely going to be in the front of it. But with something this compact, this small, and this low profile, it's really not an issue at all. Now, if we turn this over to the other side, over here we have our HDMI ports, and notice there's 3 of these. So multiple displays are becoming more and more popular with setups, and 3 is definitely mind-blowing. getting used to seeing 2 now. We're seeing that pop up on a lot of mini PCs. I'm not sure that I've seen anything with 3 on here. So that is huge for anybody that wants to use multiple displays. I don't use multiple displays for gaming, but I do use it for video editing. So this would be very cool to see if it's possible to edit with this. And of course, with 3 HDMI ports, you can obviously incorporate those multiple displays and just be that much more efficient with your editing in my case. Or if you're going to use it for work or various other projects, I guess 3 is always better than 1, right? So let's dive into this now. We're going to actually test this out. I'm going to go ahead and connect Batocera to this through a external SSD, and we'll see what the gaming options are here and what is possible with this mini PC.
Sets up wide right. 52! Right! Arm, signal. And he will go untouched into the end zone. And let's look at the videotape.
Now that's a team with guts.
Well, it's a gutsy call anyway. Drop back. Arm to Ferguson. Oh my gosh! Oh no!
Took the back. Jeff Hardy is different from other superstars.
Reverse the pin! Hurry, hurry! He's going for the pin! I'm lucky to see such an excellent match. There's the 1, 2,
15 Love.
All right, guys, we just jumped out of this mini PC, and as I said on the way in, I did expect to have some shortcomings with emulation on here. Didn't expect to be able to jump into those high-end collections, and we did experience that in the end. We aren't able to jump into PS3. Games wouldn't even load in. Nintendo Switch, games would load in, but as soon as you started getting into the menu screen, everything came down to a crawl, and unfortunately, we're never able to actually jump into the gameplay portion. So definitely not capable of those two collections. Wii U did actually load into games. You can get into the gameplay experience, but it's too laggy, very slow, to the point where you're literally playing in slow motion. So it definitely can't effectively emulate Wii U. But everything prior to Wii U does actually run on here. Now, original Xbox does have some shortcomings as well. Some titles run perfectly, other titles experience lags and delays, to the point where it's just not enjoyable enough to continue playing games like that. And we saw that with WWE Raw 2. It starts off good for the first few seconds, and then it quickly, it just hits that wall and starts lagging out on us. So a little bit dicey there. I would say 50% of titles will run pretty much perfect. The other 50% are going to be, exactly what you saw with WWE Raw 2. Now, everything prior to original Xbox, perfect, including PS2 and Gamecube. And these were two collections that I didn't think we'd be able to effectively emulate. I figured that would be, that brick wall that we hit with what is possible on this mini PC, because the Dolphin emulator and the PS2 emulator definitely do require a lot from your mini PC. And some of the budget-friendly options out there, like this one, do struggle with them. So I was really impressed to see that that wasn't the case here. And I jumped into a wide range of games for those two collections to really give this a good test. I didn't show all of them here in this video in an effort to keep this video as short as possible while still effective in showing what is possible on here. But still a great experience across the board with those collections. No shortcomings at all, no lags, delays, audio issues, screen tearing, none of that was present in any of the games I tested out. And I tested out about 10 in each collection. So everything else on here, your Super Nintendo, your Classic Arcade, your PlayStation 1, your Sega Saturn, your Dreamcast, your N64, perfect. No issues whatsoever. So this mini PC, while certainly a budget-friendly option, still gives you tremendous capabilities and amazing performance on here. So I would definitely recommend this. Now, I got this for a steal, in all honesty. I got this on Black Friday. I paid $89 after taxes and all that stuff. So $89 for this is absolutely mind-blowing. If we can continue to get this anywhere near that price point, get it as fast as you can. Now, I have noticed that there is shortages on this particular model, and I definitely see why. I've been kind of tracking this the last few days on Amazon, and I noticed that they seem to have, 25 in stock. They go down to nothing and it sells out, and then they get some more in stock, goes down and sells out. So there's definitely fluctuations there with the supply and obviously the demand portion of this. But again, I can totally see why, because this is selling at way below what it's actually worth, in my opinion. If this was being sold for, $1.30 to, $1.60, $1.70 maybe even, I could definitely understand this being fairly priced and, being desirable at those price points. But anything less than that, and this was selling, retail value on this was like $130, $140 when selling off of, Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals. It's worth every bit of that and more. So definitely keep an eye out for this. If it is going to be in stock and you catch it and it's in stock, grab it as soon as possible. If you're looking for something that can handle these collections, and not the higher end stuff. Obviously, if you want if you want PS3 and Nintendo Switch, this unfortunately just isn't capable of those. And I wouldn't get it if you want original Xbox and Wii U either. Even though some Xbox titles do have a good experience, I just don't think there's enough of them that have that experience where I would recommend this mini PC to hit up that collection. So anything prior to that, though, this has your back 100%. So definitely keep an eye out for it. I'm going to put a link up here at the top of your screen, as well as in the description for the listing for this. And just kind of monitor the inventory, and if it's not in stock when you search for it the next day, because I've definitely seen those peaks and valleys in terms of when it's available and what the quantity is that is available. But that's going to do it for today. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of this budget-friendly mini PC. Let me know what you guys thought of the performance of it. That's going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please give me a thumbs up on the video. And of course, hit subscribe to stay in the loop for everything Retro Gaming Guy right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.